Hey guys, I'm Victoria. Welcome back to FEMME, and today I want to talk about kind of what to do when you're going through a rough patch or struggling or just feeling really blah, because it's something that I recently went through and I'm on the tail end of, and I feel like coming out of that I can offer some advice and guidance and just something I want to talk about and share. During our last trip, I didn't have access to internet, which was fine. I knew I wouldn't. I had planned ahead and gotten everything done that I needed to, but I found myself really excited to come home and really craving to be able to work. But then this really odd thing happened. I got home and it was gone. Like, I didn't have that inspired motivation that I usually hold from work. I was in a funk. I just felt really bleh and not myself. And then on top of that, I was really bummed that I was feeling this way because I'd been so excited to come home and get to work. I started getting really anxious about things, about everything. I second-guessed all of my decisions that I was making, the decisions I had made, where I was in life, and where I was going. And I just felt exhausted. I think, part of it was to blame on time change, travel, but then I think I was just worn out from all of the stress of worry and being anxious. So the first thing I want to say is reach out for help. This doesn't necessarily mean, you have to go out and find a therapist. This means just talking to people. But I do want to add a side note. If it gets to that point, there's no shame in going to a therapist or going to a professional to talk to. Go do it if you need that. But anyways, I was caught up in this gloomy funk. I was in the midst of it on a Monday, and Monday is when I sent out my weekly email for my FEMME.com subscribers. I was just kind of stuck because I didn't have the inspiration or motivation, but then I was like, oh, I don't need to come up with something grand, just talk about what is happening today. And so I wrote this very honest email about how I was struggling and how I was exhausted and how I was having all these anxieties and negative thoughts, and I just kind of put it all out there. And I did not expect anything from that email. I just wanted to share the other side of all of this, that it's not always sunshine and rainbows, no matter how hard I try to make it sunshine and rainbows. This amazing thing happened. I think that email is probably the most responded to email that I've ever sent out. And you better believe I could feel all of that good juju floating my way, all of the love and encouragement. It was incredible. And I look back on that, and I did not expect people to respond to that email. I half expected them to be like, this girl's crazy, unsubscribe. So on top of receiving all of those good vibes from the universe and from people, I kept pushing, kept leaning into the discomfort I was feeling and the resistance I was coming up against. I did what I could to try to dig in and figure it all out. And for me, this meant a lot of journaling. And I was asking myself questions like, where are all of these thoughts and emotions coming from? What has changed from before that is making you feel this way? And I found that this funk I was in was a combination of really awesome trip hangover, winter blues, and a heaping scoop of holy shit, I quit my job. What am I doing with life? I'm gonna fail, and where am I going? I chose to harness their power, the power to push me forward into evolving, into becoming, taking that next step of evolution and becoming something more. Another must when you're in a rut or having a hard time is putting an extra focus into self-care. It's something that I find helps a lot. So this means bubble baths, having a mini at-home spa night, and drinking plenty of water and eating plenty of fruits and vegetables, and whatever makes you feel good. And from that poopy time has come inspiration and ideas, motivation and solutions to issues that I was facing and I was questioning. And I have come out the other end, I don't want to say not a better person, but I've come out the other end, a step higher than I was before. And I say all this as I sit in front of this giant window that is framing the outside world that is gray and gloomy and rainy and just black. And I just can't help but thinking this perfectly encapsulates how I was feeling the past few weeks. But I'm finding my flow again. I'm not closing off. I used to do this thing where if I was feeling uncomfortable, I'd kind of retreat into myself and close off to the outside world. But I wouldn't let myself do that. I forced myself to step forward, to come into it, into the resistance and the discomfort, and And I used to hate that, but I find so much good comes from leaning into that. And I just want to leave you with 10 things that you can do when you're feeling under the weather or black or blue, whatever it may be. These are things that help me and maybe they can help you. So the first one, and I already talked about it, is journaling. Just sit down, and the goal of this should be just to like excavate all the gunk that is floating around your mind. Just get it out onto paper. I find it is so beneficial. Take a bubble bath, put a face mask on, and just sink into like the warmth. Pamper yourself, I would say, whatever it may be. Drink a hot cup of something delicious, whatever your favorite thing is. It could be coffee, it could be tea, it could be hot apple cider, it could be hot cocoa, and just hold that cup. My cup's getting cold, but like, I love just holding on to a hot cup of something and like people watching, I suppose. So do that. Get crafty and make something. I find that while I am continuously creating stuff online and on my computer, I need to like use my hands to make stuff. And this could be just like doodling or painting, making a vision board, making a desk, whatever it may be, but just like physically making something with my hands does so much for my soul and for my happiness. Go out and buy yourself flowers, fresh flowers. You know, it could be from a store, or I really like to do it in the summer when we have farmers market. There's always just beautiful flowers, and I find that I don't do it all the time, but when I do it, I put it on my kitchen counter, and it always brings light and like happiness and joy to my life. Meditate, and if meditating isn't something for you, then just sit and don't do anything for like 10 to 15 minutes. Just sit there. Go on a hike through nature. I am reminded time and time again how much just like green and like woods feeds my soul. Tidy up your apartment. Clean things, wipe counters down, rearrange and declutter, and I promise there will be this amazing sense of lightness that follows. And finally, wake up in time to sit and watch the sun come up. And with that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!